Alright, I wanted to do a quick video because I have to tighten up some screws on my various Benchmade stuff here, and I figured that'd be a good opportunity to show the Benchmade Toolbox. I think that's what they call it. It's basically some bits and this little extension. Let's say I grabbed a bit out of here. I think I'm going to need this size. So I'm going to grab this one, and they're just sort of held in here with these little fingers by friction. They're magnetic, so they just pop right in. There's a little hole at the top here, so you get basically a grip here. Now, it's not a tool for taking to the construction site, but for doing something like this, my belt clip is all loose right now from putting it in and out of my belt. Nice thing about Benchmades is they don't just fall apart when that happens. You simply tighten these little screws here, and I like to do them just like a car or something. I don't just do one super tight and then the others. I get them all snug, and then I go back and try to tighten them up evenly just so that nothing warps, or so that stresses are distributed evenly. And in no time I've got it snug back up where it's going to stay in place. Now I guess it's possible I could put something in there to keep them, but this is honestly the probably the second time, actually it's the only time I flipped them from the right hand to left hand side, and this is the first time I had to do that. And I've had this for maybe 3 months of pretty much use. I use this thing all the time. So that's one use for the tool, and I have other uses. These are the Benchmade sharpeners, blade sharpeners. Now this one uses the larger size, so I'm just gonna stow this one. Of course, normally it fits right in. I'm cramming it in sideways here. Stow that one and grab the next size larger. It looks like there's 6 sizes here, but what it is there's 2 of this size, which they call T6. There's 2 of this size, which they call T8, and then there's 2 of that size, which they call T10. And my guess is that's the 3 different sizes of all the Benchmade stuff, because everything I've dealt with has been one of these 3 things. So again, I'm just tightening up these blades. I don't know if you heard it, but that blade had been loose. This is the one that we modified to be left-handed, I think, when we were testing the sharpeners, and it just needed to be tightened up just a hair. It's a pretty strong magnet, I'm noticing. This happens to be made out of metal. This was plastic, but I mean, I can just about hold the sharpener up with the magnet that's coming through from the extension there. Lastly, I've got another Benchmade here, and again, if I needed to tighten this, I don't need to tighten this. These ones are fine, but if I wanted to, it does fit the screws on the handle of this knife as well. So it's called the Benchmade Toolbox. Something, I think it's cost about 12 bucks. For me, it was worth it, because if I'm gonna carry something around to adjust things like this, I might as well. I'm happy having the Benchmade logo on there. So for me, it was worth the 12 bucks just to get a Benchmade tool. It has this little plastic clip on the back, which I'm not gonna give the best rave to because it's kind of flimsy. But it's not something I'm going to ever carry on my belt anyway. Usually this is going to be inside of a bag, and then this was going to just kind of keep it from falling down in the pocket, in which case it's probably going to do its job just fine. Just seems a little bit, well, it seems like the part that's going to break if something's going to break on this little kit. Anyway, that's the Benchmade Toolbox. Use it to tighten up the blades on our Benchmade sharpeners and on our Benchmade knives.